So everyone has those matchups that they wished had happened. Today, I'm going to rank some of those matchups I wish I could have watched. First things first, we got to go over the tiers. First tier, decent matchup. This just means that there is a possibility of it being a snooze fest. So pretty much any Colby Covington fight. Next tier is Lil Chubbed Up. This means that the matchup's exciting and there's going to be some fire moments. Banger. This matchup is a certified banger. And there's going to be some fireworks. Hella juicers to the lips. And the last tier we got is Rock Hard. This matchup is pretty much the creme de la creme, shoulda fucking happened type matchup. Before we get started, I just want to mention that these matchups are referring to when each of the fighters were in their prime. I have to put this in here for the people that are about to run to the comments talking about he would have got smashed. Like, yeah, bro, I know he's 50, but we're talking about prime. But anyway, let's get into the video. The first fight we got on the board is Conor versus Justin Gaethje. This fight would have been a war. This fight would have had me on a geologist's radar, as I would have been rock hard throughout the entire 5 rounds. And no pause. That fight would have been insane. And I know it probably wouldn't have went 5 rounds, but you know what I mean. Next up, Kamaru Usman versus Khabib. I think this would have been a crazy matchup. If you're a casual fan who just watches MMA for the excitement and the knockouts, this probably isn't going to be your cup of tea. The scrambles and grappling exchanges between these two would have been crazy. I do think I have to rank this in the decent matchup category though, because there is a possibility that they don't really engage and they kind of just feel each other out. Sean O'Malley versus Dominic Cruz gets me absolutely rock hard. The footwork battle in this fight would have been spectacular, and the striking exchanges would have been nuts. So this is a top tier matchup in my opinion. Conor versus Michael Chandler was a massive fight, and they did a lot of media for it, and then it never happened, obviously, since we're talking about it here. This fight would have been badass. It's a crazy matchup, and you know it would have probably been in the fight of the year discussions. These are two guys who don't really shy away from a fight, so you know there's going to be fireworks. So rock hard it goes. There's like 0 boring Michael Chandler fights. Mighty Mouse versus Pantoja. This matchup is definitely not for the casual fan, but in terms of technique and ability, this fight would be spectacular. The grappling exchanges would be insane, and DJ's striking would be beautiful to watch. However, it's not going to bring the fireworks like Conor versus Justin, so I'm going to put this one in the decent matchup category, just out of the possibility that it is a snooze fest. GSP versus Kamaru Usman would be a matchup against this division's greatest of all time. The grappling would be really fun to watch, and so would the striking. This would be an absolute banger of a fight. Alex Pereira versus Anderson Silva. This fight would have been an absolute striking masterclass. This fight would have been an absolute banger between 2 of the best strikers ever. Both of these guys have multiple knockouts, so for me, this fight's a banger. I would put it in the top tier class, but there is a slight possibility that they're just feeling each other out the whole fight. This sometimes happens when there's 2 really good strikers matched up against each other and neither of them want to get knocked out. The next matchup is Conor versus Volk. This would have been a fight between 2 of the best featherweights in history. The striking exchanges would have been wild, and I think this fight coulda, shoulda, and woulda been a certified banger. And the fight that most people wish would have happened, Khabib versus El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. They tease us with this fight so many times. This fight would have had me stonewalled, bruh. Like Stonewall Jackson in this hoe. This fight would have been insane and goes in the rock hard category. The next matchup, you'll never see this one coming. DDP versus Anderson Silva. This matchup is crazy. The unorthodox approach by DDP and the elite striking of Anderson Silva would be really fun to watch, and I would be super interested in seeing how this fight played out. This fight is a certified banger. The next matchup we got is John Bones Jones versus Fedor. I think this fight would be crazy. I'm not really old enough to have watched Fedor consistently, but I have seen a few of his fights. And I do know that some people consider him the heavyweight GOAT. I think this matchup would be an absolute banger between the GOAT John Jones and the supposed heavyweight GOAT Fedor. Sean O'Malley versus Cody Garbrandt. Dog. The striking in this fight would have been magnificent, and I would have been teed up. This is going in the rock hard category for sure. Conor versus Ilya. This is a crazy matchup. The shit talk leading up to this fight would be borderline criminal. Then the striking between these two would be absolutely nuts. This one gets my spidey senses tingling. This fight's just top tier. And last but not least, we got GSP versus Anderson Silva. This fight would be crazy to watch. And this is a fight between two guys that are consistently in the GOAT conversation. This fight is just top tier and maybe the best one of all. Alright boys, let me know in the comments what matchups you would have loved to see happen. I appreciate you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button.
The fucking like button and subscribe for I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
And I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.